achievable.
Well, the wealthy man noticed their stunned faces, and his response was honestly legendary. He goes, "Boys, I know, it's crazy, but when you have money, this is what you're supposed to do." Just let those words sink in for a second. Supposed to do. Did this guy actually even like the chair? Or was he just blindly selling himself as a slave to society's expectations of what rich people are supposed to buy?
Section 2. Money. Tool or yardstick?
So, this brings us right to the central dichotomy of the book. There are fundamentally two paths you can take with your wealth. You can use it as a tool to build a better, more independent life for yourself, providing things that genuinely make you happier, or you can use it as a yardstick to measure your status against everyone else. Using money merely to show other people how much money you have is an incredibly fast way to go broke, and quite frankly, a wildly expensive way to try and buy respect.
Benjamin Franklin actually hit the nail on the head centuries ago. He said, "Many a man thinks he is buying pleasure when he is really selling himself a slave to it." If you're stuck on this endless, mindless treadmill, chasing wealth just to keep up appearances, well, you aren't the master of your money anymore. You're being held captive by it.
Section 3. Why crazy spending makes sense. So if it's a trap, why do so many of us fall into it? Well, the truth is, we should never make fun of how someone spends their money because they learned it from living. There's this fascinating insight from social workers in the foster care system. They deal with kids who exhibit terrible behavior at school, getting into fights, skipping class, you name it. It's so easy to judge them from the outside. But the social workers have a saying, all behavior makes sense with enough information. When you realize those kids grew up without security or love, stuck in constant survival mode, their erratic behavior suddenly makes complete sense. Well, the exact same principle applies to how adults spend their money. Past traumas and experiences deeply dictate present behavior. And we can actually see this play out on a massive historical scale. Think about the 1920s. Before the famous Roaring '20s boom, society had to endure the utter devastation of World War I, which was followed immediately by a crippling economic recession. So, when the economy finally boomed, fueled by cheap debt and a soaring stock market, people went absolutely wild, buying new cars and extravagant clothes. A newspaper headline from 1928 by Robert Quillen captures this psychological shift perfectly. It reads, "The more you were snubbed while poor, the more you enjoy displaying your wealth." This wasn't